Morning! Good morning!
Hello everybody, thanks again for joining us. It's fantastic to be in the studio again with you because today I brought in my little friend Daisy. Hello! And she's going to help me create a pet portrait. But before we get into it, if you really love art and you're not there now, then come over to montmarte.net where we have lots more art lessons for your enjoyment. We also have our Facebook connected to that and our Creative Connection. And if you join that, then you get a whole heap of really cool stuff. So let's create a pet portrait. The first step is to take a photo of your pet. If you zoom in to the head region, it will be in forced perspective. Now we have a great photo of our friend, we can start to create the background. There is no order or set of colours to use together, just try to make the yellow the most dominant. So after the lemon yellow, I use vermilion, light green, scarlet, ultramarine blue and viridian. I use these colours straight out of the tube and directly onto the canvas. Once the paint is on, I use my trusty number 15 palette knife to spread out the paint. I don't think too much about pigment placement, I just try to create an interesting pattern with the paint. I think more in the terms of abstraction. One must be also aware not to overwork the paint so that it blends it into a depressing brown hue. Regarding the movement in the piece I am working out from the middle, this will key in the central point that should lead viewers' attention to the paint when we place our doggy on it. Well, how fun was that? Let that dry and we've got one more step. In this next stage, I'm going to apply some Mont Marte yellow glitter paint, and this should really supply that shimmery magic. So let's get it on. Again, I use my palette knife to apply my glitter paint and use it directly from the tube. As well as supplying that shimmery magic, it also gives a real depth due to the paint being translucent. And those underlying colours are transformed into new exciting rich tones. When the paint is viewed, it looks more alive and almost seems to move as the light catches it. Well, that background looks absolutely fantastic. We could leave it at that, or we could keep going. Well, if you decide to keep going, then you'll need that photo of your animal that I was talking about before. Or alternatively, you can find a picture of my cute little doggy Daisy in the PDF for this lesson that you can find at www.montmarte.net. Once you have the photo, you can grid it up and transfer it like that, or you can draw it up directly, which is the preferred method, I think. I'll be drawing it up with a marker, in this case, a Mont Marte t-shirt marker. So let's get our dog on. I am transferring my dog in directly, as it is fairly simple. But as I said before, if you want to get a really accurate likeness, lay some tracing paper over your photo. Trace out the important key lines of your pet and then create a grid over the tracing. You can then resize the grid to the appropriate size onto the canvas and transfer it like that. As I sometimes say, the grid system can be adjusted to suit any sized canvas. You just have to use according measurements. Oh, and if you'd like to find out more on this useful method, Mont Marte has created a lesson that describes this really simply. It's called How to Draw and Enlarge a Photo. It has the formula attached, and regardless of which method you employ, it is always best to get the drawing down as accurately as you can. Well, I'm getting a little bit excited now because I've finished my drawing and I can apply paint to my doggy. Now Daisy is a black and a white dog, but instead of using black, I'm going to substitute it for purple. And for the white, I'm going to use Chinese white because it's a little bit translucent, and hopefully you'll be able to see some of these nice subtle colours underneath that white. So let's get this paint on. First I lay orange into the eyes and then into the collar. These will be glazed with another colour, but it will give them a warm tone. Then on with the Chinese white. I lay this on quite thinly and I use a number 12 angle to do it. You can still see that underpainting coming through. I lay a little spot of white into any spots where the tone is in highlight. Then, while it is still wet, I apply the violet and lay this pure into the dark areas. And to get a lighter tone, I just mixed it directly on the canvas. Always pay close attention to your reference material and think about simplifying the number of tones and keep them to a minimum. I love the colour one gets when white is mixed with this violet. And remember to work as quickly as you can. You can't blend colours once they have dried. Onto Daisy's body now. So if you refer to the PDF, you will notice that although her body is white, there are many subtle variations of colour, and they can be quite easily achieved with nice soft blending. So let's get Daisy's body in. As I said, Daisy is mainly white, and any shadows play on the fur in coolish tones, in blues and mauves. This phenomenon can be suggested by blending colour into a wet white coat onto the appropriate side. Think about light source and feel free to exaggerate tonal strength to get the point across. And there's Daisy in all her majesty. Well, I really hope you enjoyed that. It's a lot of fun to immortalise your best friend. You could do it with a cat or a dog. So again, if you haven't joined our Creative Connection yet, then subscribe to that. And on behalf of Daisy and myself, we'd like to thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoy creating your pet portrait. Remember also to keep on painting. Oh, what a wonderful little doggy, eh? Aww. See you next time.